Hello, welcome to lecture module on interference. Myself Dr. Shahanshah Haider Abdi from Department of Physics, Babu Banarsi Das, National Institute of Technology and Management, Lucknow. In the following lecture, I will discuss about coherent sources, interference of light, interference in uniform thin films, bi-reflected light and bi-transmitted light, colors in thin film, colors in thick film, and an excessively thin film appears dark when seen in reflected light. The level of discussion is for the student of B.Tech first year program. Before going to start with the interference of light, I want to say few words for the introduction of this topic. As interference is the phenomena of light, so first what is light? For a common man, light is that which makes the object visible. For us, an electromagnetic radiation of the wavelength range from 4000 angstrom to 7800 angstrom, or more specifically in electromagnetic wave, the electric field vector is responsible for optical effect. Hence, it is called light vector or simply light. The branch of physics which deals with the propagation and properties of light is called optics. Optics is broadly classified into three parts: geometrical optics or ray optics, which deals only with the rectilinear motion of the light wave. Physical optics or wave optics deals with the nature of light and its propagation. Quantum optics deals the use of quantum mechanics in optical system, but here we are concerned only with physical or wave optics, because our point of discussion is interference, diffraction, polarization. All these phenomena are defined through wave nature of light or in wave optics. Nature of light is basically the two theories behind the nature of light, one called Newton's corpuscular theory of light. According to this theory, a luminous body radiates tiny light and elastic particle, that is particle nature of light. The another theory is proposed by Christian Huygens in 1678. According to his theory, each point in a source of light sends out waves in all direction. Wave theory of light was first experimentally proved by Sir Thomas Young in 1802. In his historical experiment, Young also defined the phenomena of interference of light on the basis of the superposition of light wave. Now, I will start with our topic, that is coherent sources. Two sources are said to be coherent when they have same frequency or same wavelength and having constant phase difference. Means wavelength of the two coherent sources must be same. That is why two sources derived from one can be our coherent source. Two independent sources cannot be our coherent source because they cannot maintain the constant phase difference. Therefore, we cannot produce interference pattern using two incoherent sources. So, Now, our topic is interference of light, definition of interference of light. When two light waves of same frequency having constant phase difference moving in the same region along the same line are allowed to superimpose, then there is a modification in the intensity of the resultant light in the region of superposition. This phenomena is called interference, or in terms of coherent source we can say that light from two coherent sources moving in the same region along the same line, if allowed to superimpose over each other, then there is a modification in the intensity of the resultant light. In interference pattern, at certain point the resultant amplitude is the sum of the individual amplitude. At that point the interference is called constructive interference. All other points where the resultant light, where the resultant amplitude is the difference of the individual amplitude, at that point the interference is called destructive interference. Constructive means brightness at that point, destructive means darkness. So, we get dark or bright pattern, that is called interference fringes. For a better understanding, we must have to go through this figure. Figure 1, light is allowed to pass through a pinhole, then two narrow slits very close to each other. A spherical wave is spreading out from the pinhole, result two spherical waves of same amplitude and same wavelength originating from two narrow slits. These two spherical waves will superimpose to give an interference pattern on the screen. At certain point, the intensity or amplitude is maximum, means where crest of one wave falls on the crest of the another wave, or trug of one wave falls on the trug of the another wave. At that point the amplitude will be maximum, and corresponding to that we get bright fringe. Amplitude at some other point will be 0 when crest of one wave falls on the trug on another wave, then we will get dark fringe. So, on the screen we get alternate dark and bright bands of equal spacing separated by equal interval. These are called interference fringes. As our course is with interference in thin film of uniform thickness. So, first I will tell you what is a thin film. Thin film means a film of the thickness of the order of about 5500 angstrom approximately is called film of the thickness of 5500 angstrom is said to be a thin film. For example, an air film enclosed between two transparent sheet or a thin transparent sheet like glass, these are the example of thin film. Film of oil on the water surface or soap bubble when exposed to sunlight, beautiful colors are observed. Reason is interference in thin film. So, interference in thin film of uniform. There are three terms: interference in thin film of uniform thickness. For interference we required coherent sources. Coherent sources can be produced either by division of wavefront or by division of amplitude using the phenomena of partial reflection and partial refraction. So, here this interference, that is interference in thin film of uniform thickness, is basically an example of interference by division of amplitude. So, here coherent source only can be produced either by the phenomena of reflection or by the phenomena of refraction. So, first I will start interference in thin film of uniform thickness by reflected light. Thin film is a natural phenomena in which light reflected by the upper and lower surface of the thin film interfere with one another. The degree of constructive or destructive interference depends upon the path difference or phase difference of the interfering rays. This in turn depends upon the thickness and radius and refractive index of the film as well as angle of incidence. This figure is used both for interference in thin film by reflected light as well as by transmitted or refracted light. Here consider a thin film of uniform thickness T and refractive index mu. When a ray of light from a monochromatic source is incident at an angle I on the upper surface of the film, a part of light will reflect along B R1 and rest will transmit at an angle of refraction R along C. At the point C, that is at the lower surface, ray again will transmit as well as reflect. Here we are studying about the reflection, means coherent source by the phenomena of reflection. So, we are considering only the reflected component. At point C, CD will be reflected ray. This ray at the upper junction due to the refraction emerges out as DR2. So, two rays, that is BR1 and DR2 originating from the same ray AB, means these two rays will be the coherent rays. As the thickness of the film is very small, so these two rays are very close to each other, means condition position of superposition is maximum. These two rays will interfere to give the interference pattern. This interference pattern will depend upon the path difference. These interference pattern will depend upon the path difference of these two interfering rays. For path difference, we always draw a normal from the second ray, that is from the point D on BR1, that is Dn. So, after Dn, the path of the interfering ray will be equal, and our requirement is path difference. Ray is divided into two parts at the point B. So, I have to write different path travelled by these two rays before Dn. Ray Dr2 will travel BC plus CD in film and Br1 travel Bn in air. These are the extra path. So, BC plus CD mu times minus Bn becomes our path difference. So, optical path difference between these rays will be mu BC plus CD minus Bn. Now, I have to calculate the path difference. For path difference, we require the value of BC plus CD and Bn. As this angle is I, so angle made by R2B with the normal will also be I. This is by the law of reflection. So, rest of the angle will be 90 minus I. This angle BDN is 90. So, this angle will be I. Why? Because sum of the total angle will be 180 degrees. So, write sin I in this equation. For BC and CD, draw normal from point C on BD, that is CM. These two angles are 90°. If this is R, this will also be R by the property of the geometry. This again will be R by the law of refraction. So, two angles will be same, one side is common, means triangle BCM and triangle DCM will be our congruent triangle. If these two triangles will be congruent, means BC will be equal to CD. So, our path difference becomes sin I, right sin I will be in triangle BDN, sin I will be BN upon BD, and BC and CD will be equal as triangle BMC congruent to triangle BMCD is already I have tell you. So, our path difference will become here del is equal to 2 mu BC minus BD sin I. In order to have the value of BC, go in triangle BMC, cos R will be T upon BC. Therefore, our path difference will become 2 mu T cos R minus BD sin I, or 2 mu T cos R minus BD is divided into two parts by the perpendicular CM. So, BM plus MD sin I. In the same triangle BMC congruent to MCD, BM will be equal to MD. So, net path difference will become 2 mu T cos R minus 2 BM sin I. Now, I require the value of BM. Again we will go through the triangle BMC or MDC. Here tan R will be MD upon 2 or BD upon T. Therefore, our equation of path difference will become 2 mu T upon cos R minus 2 T tan R sin I. According to Snell law, we know that mu is equal to sin I over sin R. Putting this value 2 mu T cos R minus 2 T, in spite of tan R, we will write sin R over cos R into sin I, multiply by sin R and divide by sin R. Why? Because sin I over sin R becomes mu. So, we can take out 2 mu T cos R as a common term. Now, we have taken 2 mu T cos R as a common term in bracket 1 minus sin square R, which becomes cos square. So, our equation will become del is equal to 2 mu T upon cos R into cos square R. So, path difference will become 2 mu T cos R. Now, I have to tell you about the Stokes treatment. According to the Stokes treatment, which is proved by the principle of reversibility, when a ray of light will reflect from a denser medium, there will be a phase change of pi or path difference of lambda by 2 will be introduced. So, as our ray is reflected from point B, so when a ray of light is reflected from a denser medium, as in the case R1 at B, a path difference of lambda by 2 will be introduced. So, our net path difference will be 2 mu T cos R plus lambda by 2. Lambda by 2 is the contribution from Stokes treatment. So, net path difference by the reflected light in the case of interference in thin film will become del is equal to 2 mu T cos R plus lambda by 2. Now, we have to find out the condition for constructive interference or maxima or brightness. For maxima, path difference must be even multiple of lambda by 2. So, we have written the path difference as 2 mu T cos R plus lambda by 2 is equal to n lambda. This is the condition for maxima. So, our equation will become 2 mu T cos R is equal to 2 n minus 1 lambda by 2. Similarly, condition of minima means for dark fringe, path difference must be equal to the odd multiple of lambda by 2. So, 2 mu t cos r as a path difference, and for minima this must be odd multiple of lambda by 2, that is 2 n plus 1 lambda by 2, lambda by 2 will be removed. So, our equation become 2 mu t cos r is equal to n lambda. These two equations are very important. We have to study interference in thin film due to transmitted light. Why transmitted light? Because we have to create the coherent source by the phenomena of transmission. Again we have to go through the figure to see this figure. There is a thin film of thickness t and refractive index mu. When a ray of light AB is incident on the upper surface of the thin film, a part of light will reflect. Here we are not considering the phenomenon of reflection. So, we leave it. Rest of the light will be transmitted or refracted at an angle r, that is angle of refraction. This ray again at the lower junction of the thin film will be divided into two parts. One along CD by the phenomena of reflection, and one along T1 CT1, that is due to refraction or transmission. So, we have one transmitted ray called CT1. The reflected ray CD again at the point D will reflect back as DE at the point E on the lower surface of the film. From point E it will be reflect as well as transmit as E2. So, we get two transmitted ray as ET2 and CT1. CT1. So, similarly, we have the path difference del is equal to mu CD plus DE minus CK. How we get the path difference? We simply draw normal from point E on CT1 as KE. So, after KE the path will be equal. So, before KE we written the path of different waves and then we put the minus sign. So, our path difference equation will become del is equal to mu CD plus DE minus CK. In the similar way, we can determine the value of CD and DE. Basically, those two triangles CD and D will be equal according to the congruency on the triangle, and CK will be according to the last equation, that is DE sin I. So, net path difference as in the reflected light we will calculate as del is equal to 2 mu t cos r. Here one thing worth mentioning here, in this case there is no additional path difference, as in this case there is no additional path difference introduced because both reflection at the point C and D take place backed by rarer medium. As the reflection is not from the denser medium, so no extra path difference like lambda by 2 will be introduced. So, our path difference in the transmitted light case will remain as 2 mu t cos r. For the condition of maxima or brightness, path difference must be equal to n lambda. So, we have written 2 mu t cos r, that is our path difference, is equal to n lambda for the condition of brightness or maxima or constructive interference. Similarly, as we know that path difference must be equal to the odd multiple of lambda by 2, we have written the path difference as 2 mu t cos r, and this must be equal to 2 n plus 1 lambda by 2. So, what we have seen here, the condition for brightness, that is for maxima, that is 2 mu t cos r is equal to n lambda, exactly equal to the condition of minima in reflected light. Similarly, the condition of darkness, that is 2 n plus 1 lambda by 2, is as equal in reflected light for maxima. Means film that appears dark in reflected light will appear bright in transmitted light. अब reason for color of thin film. What is the reason behind the color of thin film? When white light is incident on a thin film, it will appear colored. We already have seen. When the condition of maxima for various wavelength is satisfied. Various wavelength means as we are using the white light source, if it is monochromatic, that only dark and bright fringes can be observed, but it is if white light source, white light means different wavelengths, 7 colors, when condition for maxima for various wavelength is satisfied. Path difference, that is 2 mu t cos r at any point on the film depend on t and r. Mu is already fixed. When white light consists of various wavelength, 7 colors, for a particular value of t and r, only certain wavelength. For a particular value, this point is worth noting, for a particular value of t and r, only certain wavelengths satisfy the condition of maxima. Only certain wavelengths satisfy the condition of maxima. Therefore, only these color will present in reflected light. Now, colors in thick film. Thick film means film of thickness 10 to 50 micrometer. When white light is incident on a plane parallel thick film, no colors are seen at any given point for any value of r due to large thickness. A large number of wavelength found to satisfy the condition of maxima. At the same point, large number of waves satisfy the condition of minima. So, the cumulative effect at that point will be uniform illumination. Last, an excessively thin film appears dark. Why? Our path difference is 2 mu t cos r plus lambda by 2. Excessively thin film means t tending to 0. So, path difference will become only lambda by 2. Lambda by 2 is the reason for minimum intensity. Thus, path difference lambda by 2 correspond to minimum intensity. Therefore, reflected light will appear as dark. Thank you.